Nigerian Chief Judge warns against undermining rule of law. Gas from faulty heaters kills over a dozen in Algeria. Constantine II, last king of Greece, is dead. As part of effort to actualize his campaign promises to the people of Ijesha land, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has mandated an 11-man Haddock committee for University of Ilesha to come up with white paper for a sustainable university that will be ranked among the best in the country. Governor Adeleke gave this mandate while inaugurating the committee that has Professor Ashaolu Taiwo of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, as chairman, at the Local Government Service Commission Hall, State Secretariat. Governor's Office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekilekun brings the details.
It was an historic moment, the inauguration of ad hoc committee for the actualization of University of Ilesha, conceptualized by Senator Ademola Adeleke. According to the governor, the establishment of university in Ilesha was born out of his appreciation of the contributions of Ijesha people at home and in the diaspora to the state and national development. While expressing disappointment at the way last administration politicized the issue, Senator Adeleke reiterated the commitment of the PDP administration in Osun State to embracing due diligence in ensuring that people of Ijesha land are adequately protected and compensated with a university that is not just sustainable but can also be rated as one of the best in Nigeria. The conference.
If you have assets, funding requirements for both capital and government expenditures for the eventual takeoff of the university. 2. Review and assess the sources of funds for both capital and collect expenditure for the eventual takeoff of the university. 3. Generally review the implementation guidelines proposed by the implementation committee. 4. Engage all relevant stakeholders, including the host community, trade unions, alumni associations of the government, the student body, etc., etc.
Other terms of reference, according to the governor, are to propose modalities for the phased implementation in a way that faculties and courses of study will be matched with the funding requirements, as well as evaluation and policy recommendation on the existing obligations, assets and liabilities of the College of Education, with a view to removing all impediments for the eventual takeoff of the university. Responding, chairman of the committee, Professor Ashaolu Taiwo, appreciated the governor and promised that his committee will follow due diligence in handling the task given to them. Members of the committee are Professor Oyesoji Aremu, Professor Lukman Jimoda, Professor David Akintayo, Professor Mrs. Adefunke, Dr. Mutalib Akamu, Honorable Bamidele Salam, and 3 permanent secretaries from the Ministries of Finance and Economic Planning, Education and Justice. The committee has 6 weeks to deliver its assignment. It will be recalled that in the build-up to the July 16, 2022 governorship election in Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, who then was the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, had promised the people of Ijesha land that if elected as the governor, he will upgrade the College of Education in Ilesha to a university status. Not quite long after his declaration, the then administration of Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola hurriedly approved the conversion of Osun State College of Education in Ilesha to a University of Education. However, the effort failed to see the light of the day. It has been Abdurrahim Adekilekun reporting.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, has warned politicians and the public not to disregard the rule of law, has also warned against contempt of the judiciary, saying he will not tolerate those under his watch. Justice Ariwoola, who stated this at the Conference of Attorneys General, which held in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, noted that the silence of the judiciary must not be mistaken for weakness or vulnerability. The CJN, who was represented by a justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Kudirat Kekere, said that nobody, no matter his or her position in society, should mistake their golden silence for weakness or vulnerability. He stated that the earlier judicial officers and the courts were respected. The better for all Nigerians. They was as he charged stakeholders in the justice sector to ensure fairness, equity, and the prevalence of the rule of law. At least 17 people have died in Algeria in several cases of carbon monoxide poisoning as plummeting temperatures push people to use crude heaters emitting dangerous fumes. The Civil Defense Agency said 9 members of the same family, a couple, their 5 children and 2 relatives were found at a home in the city of Boussada, south of Algiers. The agency said in the northeastern province of Sétif, a couple and their 4 children were also found dead after apparently breathing toxic fumes from the heater. The service added that 2 other people suffocated in the northwestern city of Mustaqanem. This is the word at noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Voice of the West, Nigeria. Now our mid-news message. Honesty is the best policy. Train your child to be honest. Brazil's judicial authorities have ordered the arrest of top public officials after rioters stormed key government buildings in Brasilia. The Attorney General's office said one of the former commander of the military police has been arrested, which include Brazilia's former public security chief, Anderson Torres, and others responsible for acts and omissions leading to the riots. The police commander, Colonel Fabio Augusto, has been dismissed from his role after supporters of ex-President Jair Bolsonaro stormed Congress, the Presidential Palace, and the Supreme Court. This came a week after President Luciano Lucida, known as Lula, was sworn in. Greece's last king, Constantine II, has died. He was aged 82. His doctors say he passed away in an intensive care unit in a private hospital in Athens last night. Information gathered from hospital staff indicates that Constantine II ascended to the throne in 1964 during a turbulent period in Greek history that culminated in a military coup 3 years later. He was recently forced to flee abroad following an unsuccessful counter-coup. The monarchy was abolished in 1973. Constantine II was later stripped of his Greek citizenship. A keen sailor, Constantine II won gold in a team event at the 1960 Olympics in Rome. And here again are the highlights of the world at noon. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, has warned politicians and the public not to disregard the rule of law, has also warned against contempt of the judiciary, saying he will not tolerate those under his watch. At least 70 people have died in Algeria in several cases of carbon monoxide poisoning as plummeting temperatures push people to use crude heaters emitting dangerous fumes. Greece's last king, Constantine II, has died at 82. His doctor said he passed away in an intensive care unit in a private hospital in Athens last night. And that was the word at noon, edited by Temitope Olaiwola and delivered by Moturayo Ayebayo. Today's news talk by Adebo Ekpokbola stresses the need for stakeholders in security actors in Nigeria to back up to curb any case of insecurity that could scuttle the general election slated for 25th of next month.
a statement credited to the INEC National Commissioner and Chairman of the Board of the Electoral Institute, Professor Abdullah Zuru, by the electronic and print media that the security challenges across states in the country remains a real threat to the conduct of the next general election is doleful signal of terrible calamity to the country democracy. The statement that was volunteered at a 2-day workshop, Validation on Election Security Training Resources, which are the cross-section of chieftains of security agencies in attendance, was as triggered comments and reactions from Nigerians. While Nigerians have been unanimously critical of the sensitive security situation of the country, they were equally perturbed of the calculable havoc it will wreak on the country if the insecurity could be allowed to thwart the legal fulcrum of democracy, which is periodic elections slated for 25th of next month. Nigerians observed that this is the first time that the conduct of an election will be shrouded in palpable fear of insecurity. It goes without saying that security threats to elections in a developing democracy as Nigeria could negatively affect the physiques of the electorates who have not been fully exposed to the significance of political sovereignty as a constitutional right of the masses to decide on those that rule at a given period of time. The civil populace has not only been skeptical of the efficacy of the security arrangement being put up for general election holding next month, but they are also expressing great concerns for the antics of some politicians and individuals who will want to deliberately circumvent the legally stipulated process to launch themselves in power. For this reason, Nigerians observed that the presidency, which is vested with enormous power to provide security for the country, should act speedily to evolve intelligence mechanisms that will fully detect the hotspot areas across the country. It is also important to rejig the country's security architecture to strengthen the system against complacency and inefficiency, as well as fortifying the security network of possible compromises by any security agencies. The next general election is the heartbeat of the future of this country, which should not be allowed to debilitate by threats posed by insecurity. NISOL notes that the joint assurance by Inspector General of Police in Nigeria, Usman Baba, National Security Advisor to the President, Retired General Babagana Mongono, while reacting to security alerts raised by INEC that conducive environment will be provided for successful conduct of the election holding next month, could be seen as bulwark strengthening the confidence of Nigerians who are eager to put a new government in place. To this end, Nigerians are advised to shun any attempts or utterances that would discourage them from voting wisely to elect credible candidates to political offices on 25th of next month.
That news talk by Adeboye Popola noted that as a heartbeat of the future of Nigeria democracy, the next month's general election should not be allowed to debilitate by threats of insecurity. The piece was read by Olushola Egbodofo. For more about us, you can visit www.osbc.ng.org. Thanks for listening. Good afternoon.